Awesome.
Hey, guy. Bye.
Awesome. I will watch the YouTube comments on here. But we can. Oh, one more link to share. We'll see how it goes. Cool. So yeah, I guess I'll just kick things off and we can get started. So yeah, you're probably here because you are interested in contributing to Gumroad or one of our other projects, open source, and potentially earning bounties. So earlier this year, we open sourced all of our stuff, which is a pretty cool for a variety of reasons. A big one for me is to kind of create this opportunity for like up and coming engineers to like learn how people actually ship like in production. It's hard. I think school can kind of provide you some context on how to ship, but it's like actually what it looks like in real life with like real customers and deploying in a thing that's being used, migrations, tests, QA. Like there's just a lot of stuff. So anyways, I thought it'd be fun to open source everything and get a lot more people to contribute and learn how we sort of do things. Um, and anyway, that's kind of why we did it. And there is this big gap of actually going from like vibe coding and like having AI ship a feature to actually like getting something merged in production and being used by millions of users. And uh, and so yeah, I thought it would be fun to do this live stream and actually just do what we do, which is to review code and try to merge it, right? All of these open source contributors, their goal is to get their code merged. I don't think they're just having fun and like and they they're trying to create value and spend time and effort on code that actually makes it to production. So we're going to sort of review code, assuming that's the goal, and help sort of review the code to sort of provide feedback such that it meets the bar that we're looking for. And the bar we're looking for is that effectively you should not be able to tell like who wrote the code, right? That like the code fits within the Gumroad code base and it's sort of at the highest level. Like if you gave it to like the best possible engineer uh, at Gumroad, it would look the code would be identical, right? Because our goal is not to like dilute the quality of the code base by making it easier to contribute. It's to like encourage more people to contribute, but the quality bar is just as high, if not higher. Uh, so that that's sort of important to know. And what it means is if you're able to successfully get your code reviewed and merged into one of our repositories, it probably means you're a pretty good engineer. You could probably get an O1 visa if you wanted to and move to America. So I think that's kind of a cool, uh, yeah, it's a cool thing to aspire to. It's also something that may not happen right away. So anyways, we'll go through the code, the pull requests. Pull requests are not just code, right? They're the code, but also the wrapping around the code, how you present the code, uh, and all of these things, should help get the code merged, right? You want to make it as easy as possible for the reviewer to basically just like skim, even though they're not skimming, but like reading everything and then merging your code. They're going to test your code. They're going to like make sure the feature works the way you said it would work. And that's sort of like the single iteration of a pull request. And then there's like the long-term iteration, which is like our relationship with you as a person, which is if you're shipping really good code, that will probably mean your pull requests get reviewed faster. People are excited to review them. If your code is not that good or it feels low quality or feels like you didn't self-review it super well, then we will sort of also notice that, and over time, like eventually, uh, worst case scenario, you get banned from opening pull requests because it's annoying. So at the end of the day, all of our time is super valuable and sacred. So we want to be spending our time like reviewing high quality, high effort pull requests that actually make our software better, because that's why we're doing this, is to actually improve the product. Ultimately, it should lead to a better product for customers, for the for the 35,000 creators last month who used Gumroad. We want to make the product better for them. And that's why we've set up this kind of system, open sourcing everything, doing the open source bounties, etc. So anything to add, Urshad or Kyle,
Uh,
before we review?
yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So in this session, we are planning to review some of the PRs from our voices contributors.
Yeah.
So we have Kyle with us, joined through Google Meet. I'll
Awesome. So yeah, these are some of the best engineers on planet Earth. So this is like a blessing. You get to learn from this is like watching Kobe Bryant and LeBron James review slam dunks, I guess. I don't know. Something like that. So yeah, I know I'm excited. I think this will be awesome. Most of the people consuming this will be AI. So hello to AI in the future watching this video. Um, Back in the day, humans like us used to write code. So this is like, it's kind of an interesting documentary.
great.
Great.
So
Awesome.
let's start with peer reviews.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, we'll start, and I think we should start with the oldest one.
Oldest one. Okay.
Roughly the oldest one, if we find something interesting. You might want to also increase the font size a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
That's like the number one complaint I always get when I live stream
I see.
is the font. People are like watching on their phone or something crazy. If you're watching this on your phone, you should stop watching. It's like a waste of everyone's time. Get on a laptop.
Yeah. So these are the oldest pull requests.
Oh, you're sorting by oldest?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
cool. Nice.
we'll start with this pull request because the previous ones are from team members, which we can skip in the session.
You want to start with a team member one, or is it a bad example?
Could be large PRs.
Could be large
Yeah.
ones. Okay, yeah, we can skip them. So yeah, we can start with the fourth last one.
That's okay.
1393.
Yeah. So run products names in delete model. Okay. So
Awesome.
this seems like an UI fix.
Yeah, pretty simple, right? This is
Yeah.
basically someone adding probably a Tailwind class, presumably.
Most likely. Yeah.
Um,
And
this
also,
is yeah.
and also it's a very good example. So they have given before, after, and also this. I believe this is a mobile view.
Yeah, so I mean, the pull request could be formatted better, to be honest. Like for example, the before and after are like in text font, which should be H1, H2. Like if you go to the top, like
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's not very.
oh no, yeah, exactly. You don't really see the after. It's kind of hidden there.
Right.
So like imagine if this is like a job application, like this is the best pull request you've ever opened in your life. This is the only thing I get to review if I want to hire you or not. That's like the quality I'm expecting. Uh, like light mode is missing from here. There's only dark mode. So technically this doesn't meet our criteria for contributing guidelines.
True.
Which it does, by the way, it doesn't have to. Like we want to merge code. But that's the standard that, like if we close your pull request with no comment, it's because you didn't follow our contributing guidelines. So it's anyway. Yeah, seems reasonable. Seems real.
Yeah.
Ideally, it's a one line change, right? So
Yeah. So we have only like
two line change.
two files changed. But before going to the
Yeah, so
file
two
changes,
files. Yeah.
we usually go to the pull request to see the inline comments and stuff like that. So it seems like Emmanuel has already reviewed the PR. There are some comments on the pull request and suggestions. And
So generally, this is like generally, I would say my comment on this is like if for a pull request this small, if there are comments, I would just close the pull request, right? Because you're basically saying it's not the right approach.
got it.
Because like you're commenting that the entire pull like it's only one or two lines of code, so I would just close the pull. That would be my like I'm harsh about that kind of stuff. I also think that like this is a little bit of like a contrived example. I don't like contrived examples. Like for like he chose a product name that is artificially long in order to create a problem. Like so I would just close this honestly.
We can close.
Yeah, just close it. Yeah, it's not worth merging, in my opinion.
The pull request is closed.
Boom.
Back here.
But hopefully now everyone knows why that even though it may have solved the issue, like it's really, really important that you do things the right way and just not worth it. Not worth our time.
Okay. Kyle, would you like to review the next pull request if you could share your screen?
Scott ready to do that?
Oh, yeah, are you ready to do that? Great.
What are you looking for?
I saw a comment that people cannot hear Kyle. Just make sure. Making sure. Okay. Uh, I think
All right, I'm just reading, I guess, the description right now. Pretty standard explaining what the issue, well, the symptom of the issue and attaching the before and after um, video as well as the test runs. Another thing that I personally will find really helpful with PR descriptions as well as code is just that I think it's easy to, let me open the code changes. When looking at code changes, so let's say this is only like 50 lines of changes, um, seeing what changed
Sure.
is kind of easy because the changes are here. But then understanding why these need to be changed and why certain files that are not in the div, why they do not need to be changed. I think that's the harder part. So usually something that would really help me is going into a bit details of why maybe changing this alone works, and for something this small, just adding a paragraph in the PR description that'd be fine. What are the approaches that you have explored, and how are things set up currently? With Gumroad, I think it's a pretty large code base. Personally, I don't even know a lot of the areas in the code base, and I don't remember a lot of them. And in order for me to review change, usually I go into the relevant aspect of the code base. So for example, I think, well, why don't we just take a look at this video? It's trying to create a call product. Um, it's created but not published. It's trying to archive it. The UI state is stuck, probably due to the same validation error that we saw earlier.
Yeah, one thing that
But
would have
again,
improved that video probably would have been to show the console and actually showed the 500 coming back from the
mhm, yeah,
endpoint, so you would actually know 100% what the issue is.
yeah, yeah. So I guess going back to Sahil, what Sahil just said in this video in particular, let's see, maybe there's an error. Yeah, here it is. I can recurring valid. Yeah, it failed due to that validation. So I think that's a good repro. Um, and basically, so again, I'm just looking at the explanation of the change. It just explains what the video shows, and that's only the symptom of the issue. But I'm basically jumping in conclusion from, okay, now we have this issue. How are you trying to solve this? That's something I do not yet know from just the description. I have to look into the code. I think naturally, like one thing that would jump to people's mind is maybe, okay, can we suppress this validation or skip this validation when archiving? But again, at the same time, would that be like the right approach? Are there other approaches? I think these are the things that I will consider when approaching a problem like this. Let's take a look at
Yeah.
the code.
Yeah, just to repeat what Kyle said, maybe in my own words, like Kyle has to do a lot of thinking to get to the conclusion of like why is this a problem by kind of reverse engineering from the screenshot and the video. That's like a lot of effort, and that effort has already been consumed by the person who opened this pull request. So just one extra sentence saying, the reason this happens is because we have a validation uh, on basically this, this archive or this like call duration needing to exist. Um, and like this is not the right approach. I think this will also show you that this approach is not the right approach. I think where you're basically saying for the basically ignore this condition uh, when you're archiving something, which is probably wrong. What should really it should not be an invalid product. It should be possible to have a valid product with no call durations. You may not be able to buy it, you may not be able to publish it, but you should be able to delete it, archive it. And generally, I think maybe it's too
Mm.
strong to have. So anyway, I just kind of saying the same thing, but just so people listening really kind of internalize it. Like it's kind of like if you do surgery, you don't just say, "Hey, I cut off this guy's leg because his leg was hurting." It's like why is this like what is the root cause? Ideally, what is like the dream is to be able to like show the PR that introduced the bug, right? To like be like this code was added to the code base, and at this point, this bug became a thing. Um, and to me, that's almost should be almost a requirement. It's hard because Gumroad's an old code base. Not all of it is open source historically because we
Mm.
can't open source like all the history, but to ideally you should try at least
Mm.
like at least like explain, like put yourself in the mind of the person who built this feature who was also a good engineer. How did they miss this bug, right? Like how did they build the feature? Why did they build it this way? And now we're making a structural systemic change. We're not just like this seems like a band-aid where you're basically saying, okay, now you can like we're skipping this validation but like if we add like another button that says, delete or archive or publish and like this is just or this or that or it just gets longer and longer and longer. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And I think usually there are like good patterns to follow, but with something like Gumroad, there might not be a generic pattern that is applicable to other code base that might be applicable here. I think yeah, Gumroad is just pretty large. Sometimes you got to take a step back, look at things holistically, and figure out where different pieces fit together, and what's the right, I guess, what's the most optimal approach to prevent this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
Well, and specifically there is kind of like a Rails idiom. So this is kind of like specific kind of to the Rails ecosystem, but this concept of these validations that run on models anytime they're saved or changed. And likely issues like this, most likely in the Rails ecosystem, I feel like require a change to that thing. Like it should change from an after create to an after save, or like generally there's like a mismatch in like when the validation is running. Um, right. So
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, there are some nuances in that, but that's generally true too. Yes. So instead of, I guess, reviewing this here, I'm just going to say why I can't decide to merge this right away
mhm.
is, again, the PR doesn't have information of like why we decide to add this here. For example, what does this do? When is this validation run? If you could, you don't have to, like, for me personally, you have to like show the original PR or commit that introduced the relevant change, but just maybe show me a snippet of for example, where is this used in the description? When is this validation run in the description? And help me understand more of the context. And what will be even better is what other approaches have you looked into, and why does this one fit better than the others? Basically, explain why these changes are here and why some changes are not here. Give me more context, and that will help me to either get this merged sooner or provide feedback sooner. I think, yeah, what I explained right now is basically preventing me from giving you feedback, let's say in the first 5 minutes of looking at this code, even though it's again only 50 lines long, and the symptom of the issue is pretty clear from the description, but again, the why is not super clear yet.
Yeah, and we don't want like a bunch of AI slop, right? Don't just say, "Hey, AI, explain my code."
Mhm.
It's a human needs to really edit, because that's like the hard part is really making every word count, right? It's like reading this and being like, "Oh, this is exactly, yes, cool. This is why the issue exists. This is why the fix is the right fix.
Mhm.
These are the three things I you may have thought, why didn't I go this way? And the reason is this reason,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
makes it fun to read pull requests, because you get to learn more about how the code base works just by reading someone else's code.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So yeah.
I guess we're just gonna skip this one for now, or do we want to
Yeah,
dive
I would close
more?
it if you're down to close it. I would just close it. Otherwise, I can do it on my computer. But
Sure. Yeah. I'll close it. I'll
awesome,
stop sharing screen. You guys can move on to the next one. I will close this.
awesome, sounds great.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
No worries.
And let's skip the same guy. Let's because he has a bunch. So let's go to the next one who has a different username, like Pradun.
Yeah. Should we review PRs which are not reviewed already? So many of these.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to one that isn't reviewed. Uh,
Sounds good. So
we can do that one. Didia, this one. Yeah, that's the
one?
first one without. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So lock installment schedule set purchase time, add backfill enters.
So for example, just to sorry to hijack this, but I would read this and I would notice that it has like a list of files changed. I think it doesn't really say why these files are listed, but presumably it's because these are the files changed, and you can see that here. It's very strange to me that you listed this.
Yeah. It doesn't add much value.
It doesn't add any value. So I would then, my brain immediately goes to like, did they include an AI disclosure? Because I don't want to read anything. I don't want to read this if an AI produced this. If a human produced this, then I'm down to read it because it means like it was edited to include certain files for a certain reason. But in this case, it seems like most likely an AI wrote it, and the reason you can tell that is because there's no AI disclosure. So I would just close it. Because if there's no AI disclosure, it's impossible to know what I should be paying attention to. So yeah, that's that one's closed. And I don't even give a reason because it's like you just didn't really even read our contributing guidelines. So we'll skip that one. We can go to the next. The next one, let's go to this one, I guess. Oh no, that's him. So let's skip to the next one with no comments for Arjun.
Yeah. Fix neighbor element spacing on mobile screens. Okay, this is good. This kind of presentation.
Yeah, this is good. This is really nice. Before, after, like think about how much easier it is to consume this.
Yeah.
That, however, I still can't tell what has changed.
Okay, so we have to read it. So it would
Okay,
be
so
helpful if we can just highlight using an arrow or a red circle or something. It would be very helpful.
Yeah, so I can see it's basically just this.
Yeah, this packaging, right? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
Okay. So no AI was. This is good. There is a disclosure, self-review.
Great.
Great. This is good.
Good PR so far.
Let's look at the change. Okay, it's basically adding these two tailwind classes and removing this one also. There's a change. Yeah.
So one small problem here, in my opinion, is they're adding this. It's an H7 that goes to an H8 on large devices, the logo presumably.
Yeah.
But if you go to the pull request description,
There is no change.
it doesn't show that.
Exactly.
It only shows mobile. So I would close this. I would not merge this because they are not including.
Yeah. So the reason why we are closing it is because it is on us to test and verify.
Yeah.
Change.
Exactly. Yeah. And we should still do that, but like first they should do it.
Absolutely.
And I would also be curious why they have two commits. So like the second commit,
Okay.
what did they fix? Like what did they notice?
So one comment was added.
So they probably removed this item center or something
Yeah.
like that in the second. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is also really helpful. Like, you know, it's really important to understand. Like, I want to put myself in the mind of the engineer. And like, why is this? Okay, they probably did test it locally. It's a good sign. And they removed item center. That's also good. You know, deleting code you don't need. Um, and so that's good.
Yeah. So if there's any visual change, it is always helpful to include the relevant screenshots in the pull
Yeah,
request.
and in this case, when you're showing something responsive, it's really helpful to have a video,
Exactly.
right? Because you want to show going from mobile to desktop, and like the easiest, simplest way to do that probably is just a video that shows that. So it's pretty close. You know, likely will be merged if it's reopened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 0 for 3 so far. It's hard. It's hard to, you know, again, I truly believe that this it's not easy. Like shipping world-class code, like basically perfect code is 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 hard. So next one, next page. Oh yeah, him, yeah, yeah. This one should be good because I reviewed his first version of this, so this is a new PR, but it should be pretty close.
This is a Tailwind migration. It's a relatively large PR.
Yeah, so it deletes the separator
Yeah.
CSS, which is these like or things, and it makes a Tailwind. It makes ideally it would make a component and then use Tailwind classes.
Okay.
And then yeah, so that's good. There's something weird, which is the pull request is capitalized. I don't know why the branch name is capital. That's kind of a strange thing. Separator, but whatever. Technically nothing wrong with that. Just kind of weird.
So
Yeah, I appreciate the before after is great. The different
really good.
views are great. It also, you know, it shows me that we are not that consistent. There are certain places where we have a capital or, and there are other places where it's lowercase or. So we should actually probably clean this up and just make it all lowercase. There's no reason to have the capital.
Yeah.
That will save some code as well. So that AI usage componentized, that's kind of strange. Like he doesn't. That's not like that doesn't really make sense to me. What is he saying? The whole PR is like, is he just saying the whole thing is written by AI?
Maybe he moved something to component and which he used AI to.
Oh yeah. So I think that's could be more clear.
Yeah. Okay. So instead of using install separator, he now has a separator component.
So there's one problem with that already I see is that it's not a separator, it's an or separator, right? Like if you think about what the code that is being replaced, there is no evidence. It's not clear that this has text in it. So either you would name it the or separator, you know, like this, or like that, or ironically, or you know, you do something like this: separator text equals or, right? Personally, I like the first one. Personally, I like the first. And the reason I like the first one is that I don't like I like the default. It's more obvious that's the default, and you could always override it. So that would be what do you think? That was my suggestion. Either just call it the or separator.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. We only use that as an or. Otherwise we would just use a HR.
Oh, I see. So it basically just shows the alt text.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's always or search by card or.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah, then it actually makes sense to have a text param, right? You can pass it param to it.
Well, the problem is if you don't have it, I think it just feels like if the vast majority of the time it's or, we should call it the or separator.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then we don't need like you know.
Oh, the default.
Well, I mean, this can still like this will be the same.
Okay.
But you won't have to always pass an or every time.
Got it.
But it should be called the or separator. Like if there's a default here, then this should be called the or separator because that's otherwise you're obscuring
Oh yeah,
the functionality, which is most of the time it's going to say or.
got it.
So I would rename this to or separator.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
That's the change. Yeah.
sorry, what is this? Why is there like so this is like a unique instance of separator. So we want to explicitly test this, make sure that
Yeah.
this doesn't break.
Do we have a
this use-
screenshot of this
So we would check. We would make sure that there'd be a screenshot of that specific one.
workflows? I think email view should be. I think it's this, but I'm not sure. Let me check the content.
I don't think it is
Oh,
because that's workflow emails,
yeah.
and it should be
So delay delivery time duration.
yeah. That's not
Uh,
because that's
it should be this.
no that no no that the workflow one is different. The work if you go to gumroad.com/workflows. Workflows.
No, it should be edit, right?
Edit. Yeah, you can just edit.
Oh, we
There's
have
no
to,
emails there
yeah.
on the
Create it.
this one. That's this thing.
Oh, this one, 0 hours after purchase. Okay, so there's no screenshot of that in the portal.
So yeah, so I would close it because like he didn't include the most important.
Yeah, that's a huge change.
Yeah, it's a huge change. It's a high risk change. I would not be confident in merging this in,
Got it.
you know,
Yeah.
personally.
Okay, close that.
Yeah. Also, lots of merge conflicts.
Oh yeah.
So-
That's probably on us.
I mean,
Yeah.
to some degree, but also if you want stuff merged, you want to make it's on them to make sure it's always in a mergeable state. You know, every day or two, you should make sure that.
Next.
Awesome.
We'll move on to the next one. Kyle, would you like to take the next one?
Sure. Actually, could I just add a few more things to the previous PR?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I was just actually looking at the I guess first of all with the naming of the component, I think that was a very meaningful exercise to show off to see sometimes naming is not like I think it's overused by now, but naming is hard to show what we want and how much time we want to spend into that to make the naming self-explanatory, but also don't go into the bike shedding territory. So I think that exercise was great. In the end, I think I don't think there's ever like a definitive like best name, but it just depends on the context. If you provide a bit your rationale of why you name it that way. For example, personally, I may not name it as the or separator, as Sahil said, but if whoever came up with the name would also provided that rationale, and I agree with the rationale, then yeah, because usually I don't feel that strongly about a name unless it's not self-explanatory at all or not clear or a little bit ambiguous. So that's that with the name. And I'm just gonna quickly share my screen again.
We can do this one too. This one has a next to that.
Okay.
And a thing that I see very common in our React code base and React contribution is that, for example, this doing class name. We have some existing classes we want to apply, and then we just doing a string interpolation into the class name. We do have the helper. I actually forgot the name of the helper right now. But
it's like CX or CN.
yeah, I just use it so often, but I can't remember the exact name. So what that does, it actually has some magic beneath it to I actually, yeah, off the top of my mind, I don't know what exactly it does, but I think dedupes, or like, let's say if there are two that are conflicting, it'll pick the winning one. I think that's the way it does. Don't quote me on that. But and additionally, I think what's really nice is that you can, let's say, provide this as a string, and then give basically the whole thing will become an array. So this will be the first item of the array, and then you can just give this as a second item of the array. And additional cool thing with that helper is you can give it conditionals, so that basically you give it like a hash or a JavaScript object, where the key is the class name and the value evaluates to a Boolean, and that class will only be included into the final class name if that Boolean evaluates to true. So that's also helpful sometimes. Yeah, and this is probably minor. Like for example, we can probably just give this or as a default to the text attribute or property. Yeah, that's just some thoughts I had. And just to call back what Sahil and Arshad said, this is a very important case that we should have included a screenshot for. It has actually happened in the past where we merged PRs where we thought the screenshots covered all of the cases, but it didn't. And it ended up breaking the cases where the screenshot didn't cover. So yeah, it would be nice to include everything. All right, that's all from me. Have you guys already picked the next one you guys want to look at?
Yeah, we can do this one if you can open up this one. Urshad, they automatically suspend creators with shared ACH accounts.
All right. So
All right.
17, right?
1417.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
With shared ACH accounts. Okay. So this is a risk security feature.
Yep. Reasonable.
Yeah, good AI disclosure. So cursor was used to assist in understanding the issue and implementing a fix. Okay.
It's not really a feature, I would say. It's tagged as a feature, but it's not something that the user, like, it's not, to me, it's not a feature. I don't know. I don't know. I never learned like when to use these, but
Yeah.
if you're using them, I find them not that useful, but if you're using them, yeah, use them properly. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, overall it looks reasonable. He's including tests, but the important thing is not the tests that pass that are relevant, but all the non-relevant tests that pass.
Sure.
Obviously, these are going to pass because you're testing your feature as you build it. But the point of tests primarily is to catch things you weren't testing manually, such that like all the all the other thousands of tests in the suite need to pass. So that's missing. We are going to make it easier. Like we're working on making it so all the tests will run on CI for all the open source stuff. But until then, you want to show like, the entire test suite passing, or like a much larger segment of the test suite passing that shows that, for example, all the request specs that have to do with payments and, onboarding and suspension, et cetera, would help drive our confidence up. Yeah, sorry.
So
Of course, I was just reading as well.
he has included a video. Okay. Okay. This is flag dot. Okay, so this is the
So there's a different account with the same bank account information, and presumably he's just going to refresh and it'll be suspended. Why is he? Oh, first he has to suspend them before
yeah.
he can, or before he has to flag them first, then.
Yeah. So when we flag the user, I think we don't show the suspend button immediately. They have to refresh the admin
Yeah,
page.
well, that should fix. Emmanuel is working on React, so that
Yeah.
that will be improved. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully, people can see how important the code is important ultimately, but a lot of the review happens even before we look at any code, and that's
Okay.
good to know.
Okay.
So functionally, it looks like it worked.
It worked, yes.
That's a positive sign, positive signal.
And also there's one more video, but it is shown as a link. So we'll have to operate manually.
So that's not ideal. I would fix,
Yeah.
why did they do that?
Yeah, ideally it should be embedded in the default GitHub layer, but I've seen that happen sometimes. Okay, so in this case, we are marking the user as compliant. So it should automatically mark the other user also as compliant.
No,
Okay,
I don't think so. I don't think it should go the other way around.
okay, but it does
Yeah, so he's added
a new functionality.
new functionality that he's never did he mention that he added this in the PR?
Uh, maybe below.
Yeah, so I would just to me this is like not worth even reviewing because or I mean we are reviewing it, but
Yeah,
that seems pretty bad that he's adding he's adding that functionality um without saying that he's adding it.
yeah, that's not a part of the requirement. So let's look at the requirement. Automatic suspend. Okay. Yeah, so we just asked to auto suspend the account, not auto mark as compliant.
Yeah, so that's yeah, I mean if you want to review it, we can still review the code and maybe it's helpful to people,
Okay.
but generally I would say that my guess is that the code feels AI generated and therefore it's not he did not he did not like the AI is not going to investigate the code base enough to write the right code. Like the payments code is too complicated to understand. Um, you can vibe code an answer that looks like it works, but uh, yeah, it doesn't. And there's also I would also say that there's no comments anywhere, so I can't like I don't know why he made any of these changes. So I would definitely want comments. Why make this line of code change?
Yeah, and also this
So
code is not. Sorry, Cal, please go on.
Oh, I was just going to say by comment, you're referring to GitHub comments or
exactly. GitHub comments generally not code comments. We are not huge fans of code comments generally. They can make sense at times, and maybe we are too harsh on them. But uh, yeah, in this case, it's a pretty significant, complicated method with like lots of joins and wheres and conditionals, and not taking the time to explain why it's structured. Like for example, like before there was like a yeah. Anyway, just some at least one comment. Like basically he's saying that the code is so intuitive that it requires not a single comment. Like it's just I can and at least when I read the code, it's not intuitive. Like to me, like what is a fingerprint? Like why does an active bank account have a stripe fingerprint? Um, yeah, I could use more. Could use more. Like why is there this like not ID? I know why, but it takes a second for me to understand why. So like maybe help explain that.
It also seems like the auto compliant feature was already there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, seems like it. So maybe he just kept that feature and showed that as
Oh,
part of the
interesting.
demo. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Okay, it's already there, so okay. It's for payment address, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So let's look at the code.
So why do we need this here?
I'm thinking about the same thing.
Yeah.
It seems like he is trying to.
Why is it after commit, not after create? Why? Just like this is why we need comments.
Yeah, we need more.
Why? Like why?
And also, we need to know why exactly it's happening on the bank account model. So maybe he's trying to auto suspend the user when that user enters a flagged
Yeah.
payment address. So yeah, could be that.
But generally, it seems like a weird place to put it.
Exactly. Yeah. Most likely, we don't want that.
Yeah, it should not. Generally, the bank account is not changing in order to, create this problem.
Yeah.
The user is being suspended. So, and that it seems like that second file handles it.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense because right above that line, there's a line that looks very similar.
Yeah.
So that feels like the right place. So I would definitely leave a comment like why that change. But generally, this, yeah.
Yeah. So some comments here would be really helpful. If you go down, the payment address present. we are actually deprecating the PayPal payout through
Yeah.
this.
So this will change.
This will change.
Yeah. But
we can keep it here.
yeah, for now, yeah.
So user payment address will not. So my first question would be that do we know whether this column is indexed or not? I'm not sure, so I'll have to check it. Schema payment address. Yeah, so we have index for it. So without index, this code is going to take a very long time.
But that's another thing of like, if that investigation should have been done already by the person writing this code, so that should be a comment that you did the investigation and that's what you found and that's why you wrote the code the way you wrote it.
Yeah.
It's and you could say, oh well, the code was already there, but at the end of the day, it becomes your code when you change it. So it's now, every single line of code is now on you to sort of prove is worth having.
Yeah. So, if there's an active bank account and if that bank account has a Stripe fingerprint present, join the bank accounts, find all the users with that fingerprint, but not this user account. Then we mark them as compliant. So this is reinstating the previous functionality. So this is the suspending part. Okay, it happens
there, so it's a different job.
Okay.
It's a different file.
Okay. From okay, this
Oh, Emmanuel's trying to join, by the way, the Google Meet.
Sure.
If you hit the or I pinged him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this worker is being called from the bank account. No. Yeah, from the bank account. We don't know exactly. We need that.
So there's two different ones: flag fraud and suspend account.
Yeah.
But this, I guess, I assume he's just copying the pattern of the payment address.
Yeah.
But to be honest, AI wrote the code, so like, it doesn't. Again, like we need comments. We need, this file is based off this other file, except these are the small changes I made because of these nuances. Like, where's the nuance?
And in this case, we are trying to fetch the suspended accounts and flagging them for fraud. So what does this do? Flag for fraud. Yeah. Is this function? Probably. Okay, so we have a flag for fraud without exclamation, but here we have exclamation. I'm not really sure if this method exists or not.
Oh, there, admit.
Hey, welcome.
One more awesome engineer joining the chat.
Hey.
So I'm just worried about this particular method. I'm not sure if we have this flag for fraud. Let's check. So let's see. What is that a method that we added in this? No, we haven't added this here. So let's say user dot last dot flag for fraud. Sorry. Okay, so the method exists. But I don't know what that exists. Okay, I need to check that. Flag for fraud. It probably has to do something. So .rp. Oh yeah, it's the transition. Okay, got it. So it's a state machine event. Flag for fraud. Okay. Okay, we do that. And what else do we do? Okay, we add user comment. Okay, we do a bunch of transitions like that. Okay, so that's all right. This is fine. Captain Walker. This is the same fingerprint we are fetching. The same fingerprint, and we are flagged for okay.
Yeah, basically the state machine requires someone to be flagged first.
For suspending.
So that we may want to change. Should you have to flag someone in order to suspend them?
Yeah, but what confused me here was that we are already fetching the suspended users from here, and we are flagging them fraud again, right? I don't know what.
Yeah. So yeah, anyways, I think we can just close this.
Yeah,
We spent enough time.
sure, yeah.
Hopefully that was useful feedback though.
Sure. That's classic.
Awesome.
Cool.
Kyle,
I think again that was. So I was just gonna say something about the PR we just reviewed. I think again that was a very good exercise of what a typical review might look like. And in this case, we're basically touching two things. One is suspension, and the other is something related to bank accounts or payments. And those tend to be, I think, in my opinion, like two somewhat complex areas in the Gumroad code base, and maybe not everyone is familiar with them. So if the PR description could have something about, first of all, what does your approach look like from a high level, and that could have saved us some effort into reading. Okay, why was this here? Why do we need this there? Another is, okay, why is this approach sound? Why is this approach appropriate for this problem? That could again save us more time. We then can just assess whether this approach is appropriate and if there are better alternatives. So again, some more explanation into the why that could help expedite the review process.
That's true.
awesome.
That's it.
Emmanuel, would you like to review another PR?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Just how does it work?
Yeah,
do
I'll give you a list of a couple that I've found that we might want to look at we're generally trying to like find new people, so we can give the most feedback to the most amount of people, and also try to cover different issues. It'd also be fun to maybe we could look through like the admin SPA PR or the code just to kind of give people a sense of like, I think it'd be cool to show people like our code too, like what I do. Hopefully we merge other people's code too, but good code.
yeah, sure. It's just that sorry, kid stuff. Be right back in a minute.
Kids for the win. Okay, let's review this one while Emmanuel comes back. It's a pretty small one. I'll send you this. It's a 1444. 144.
Could you guys actually also screen share to the Google Meet?
Yeah.
I was using the YouTube live stream to see your screen, but there's some lag there.
Makes sense. Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, Emmanuel's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, my apologies for this.
No worries.
So you were talking about the admin. You were talking about the admin pull request, the admin spa.
Yeah, I think
it's almost.
we could talk about the admin spa, and I also send you some examples of small PRs to review via Slack DM.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, I can already say that it's a massive rewrite because there are a lot of different endpoints and templates. So typically, this is the kind of pull request that you want to split into more atomic ones. So if I open a pull request right now, it's going to be a massive amount of divs.
I mean, I think maybe it's worth talking about that just because I do think it's a helpful exercise, like showing people how big the pull request would look like just the compare in GitHub, and then also maybe
I
talk
guess
through
I
how
guess I can just open one right now, just for the
how we
sake
would
of it.
how we would make it more atomic and break it out, and maybe get help from Maya and Jono to like how we would actually architect that migration.
Okay, well,
Emmanuel, when you're ready,
opening.
please share your screen when you're ready.
Okay, so um, I'm going to share my screen right now. Sharing, share their screen. Yeah, that's all right.
We see it.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so I just opened
Oh, cool.
I just opened a draft pull request because this is not something that we want to actually review in order to measure right now. So this is a massive differential because you have a lot of changes, as you can see. The idea is that right
And what
now,
is this? Could you explain what the change is? Like what we're
yeah. So
doing?
currently, what we have an admin dashboard in order for the administrator of Gumroad currently to perform some maintenance actions like reviewing the user profiles, some purchases that were done on our backend. We can annotate some comments to those purchases and to those users in order to gather some critical information about them. We can also flag some. We have a lot of features like flagging some products for fraud, that kind of stuff, in order to make sure that no products that do not comply with our requirements are actually sellable on the platform. So the way it's currently implemented is a mix of Action View, Ruby on Rails templates, and React components that are server-side rendered with the Gen React on Rails.
Oh,
So
can you
at
show the first tab as well, just to show people what it looks like?
the first tab. So
The Gumroad admin for your browser tab.
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Like
so yeah, this kind of like admin side kind of thing.
this is currently what I have locally. So basically, if I go to admin,
Yeah, exactly.
basically you have basically this is the homepage of the admin, and you can like search. You can basically choose to impersonate the user if necessary, or to view their Stripe accounts. Typically, when a customer is contacting us because they need some help, maybe they have a bug on their interface, we can impersonate them in order to try to reproduce the issue in production, and then reproduce that locally in order to provide a fix as quickly as possible. And then we can also view their Stripe account. Then we have a lot of other tabs like emails that we want to be able to block, either by email or by email domains. The idea is that we want to suspend them in order to, because we have identified that a source might be harmful for the Gumroad community, and we also want to unblock them should we change our minds or we have figured that it's no longer a threat or something. We also have a Psychic panel because we use Psychic for all of background jobs. So this is typically this is an external source. We also have a feature flag system in order to activate, deactivate features at will in order to do some kind of A/B testing. This is also an external source that has nothing to do with the admin dashboard. So it's just an external link. We also have refund queue, which is currently empty locally, but basically it's going to display a list of users with a lot of resources that I can also display in another fashion that I'm going to show you later. And then we have the page about stage reports. We can basically search and generate stage reports by country with a start date and an end date. So we have all those endpoints, and then we have some others because we also have like a search form that is available in every page. So we can, like, for example, search by users. And then we have basically a list of results. So since I entered an email here, I only have one result. But if we have multiple results, they are basically displayed below this one as a list. And then we have a lot of resources. We have the form to flag a user for fraud. We have the resources of UIDs. We have the bio, the latest post of that user, the details about compliance info, there is some, the payout information, there is some. the mention cycle that they might have, the number of times that the user has changed their email. We can also change the email for them should they request us to do so. And we have and so on and so on and so on. We have a lot of features. And
Yeah. Okay, that's a
so
good overview. There's a lot. It's like
yeah,
almost like a mini application, right? Basically.
it's pretty much a mini application at this point. And then we have the same kind of stuff for the purchases. We have a list of purchases, and then we can
Oh,
display
it looks like, by the way, the
a
separator
detailed
PR that
purchase.
got merged in broke something. Because if you do search, the or
Mm.
separator is broken. Oh.
Yeah, possibly. This is locally what I currently have on my branch for the admin spa. So this is not the main branch right now. So
But
yeah.
have you merged main recently, or no?
I think I did that like 30 minutes ago.
So yeah, I mean, that likely has. I mean, it works in prod. So anyway, it hasn't been.
Well, since I did a lot of,
Yeah. Anyway.
since I ported everything to React, maybe I accidentally fixed it on my end too. Quite possibly. And then we can also search for affiliates, which is basically a type of user. So it's going to be empty, I think, here because I do not have any affiliates locally, but it's going to return the same list of users than the one that we have here, basically. It's just that it's only the users that are affiliates that is going to be displayed on that page. And then we could also search for purchases by card type here, which is going to return a list of purchase exactly the way it's listed here. So we have a lot of templates that are common across different pages. The way we display a user, the way we display a purchase, and the way we display a product as well. And we also have a lot of performance bottlenecks with the current implementation because basically for example, when you are displaying a list of users, everything is going to be eager loaded. So for example, we have some statistics here that are going to do a lot of queries with our databases. All the comments here currently in production are going to be loaded as well. So it's going to be a lot of queries on the database with a lot of N+1 issues, by the way. And it's a bottleneck and it causes the page to take an extremely long time to load before actually displaying anything. So the idea of the approach here is while porting to React, we are going to make the most of it. We leverage inertia in order to keep our race controllers the way they are. And we are going to replace our action view templates with inertia pages leveraging React components. All the server component, all the existing components that are currently being server-side rendered with React on Rails with this pull request have been ported to classic React components that are no longer server-side rendered. The idea is that we can activate server-side rendering later with inertia in the future. But even without server-side rendering right now, it's still going to be faster because the architecture has changed. Mainly because right now, if you search for users, with the improvements that are going to be done in this pull request, you can see that there were some loading icons here. A lot of resources that were previously eager loaded are going to be lazy loaded, which is going to be a huge relief for the main request because it's just going to perform a subset of the queries that were performed previously, and causing the page to be rendered much faster. And then only if you need, you are going to load the subsequent resources. Like if you open this, only then the comments for that user are going to be loaded, etc., etc., etc. So that's the whole idea, to transform the admin dashboard into an actual single page application using inertia. So it's going to still be some kind of MVC pattern, but with the inertia magic is you're never going to have a full refresh. So navigating between the links basically is going to be extremely fast, and at the same time is going to be more performant and is going to relieve our database from a lot of work. I think that sums it up, and it was a lot. So, but it also reflects the substantial amount of work that was done. Maybe you have any questions?
So yeah, so I guess the current PR is 369 files changed, like 15,000 line diff. Like, how would you break it up into smaller pull requests
This
such
one
that?
is a challenge. The idea is that ideally you should be only opening tiny pull requests, ideally less than like 100 lines of code differently. Sometimes it's not going to be easy because in this case, for example, there is a lot of coupling between the templates and the components and the partials, a lot of partials where we use across different type of across different controllers and endpoints. So if I was going to just open up here for one page, for like one tab for the suspend users, then on the next PR, I would need to basically reuse the work that was done before. And at the same time, the idea of having a holistic approach is that you can identify some code that can be refactored more easily, and you can extract them into some common modules that can reuse more easily than if you had just taken care of one tab from the start, open up here, and then take the second one. It's not very easy. So the idea is, my plan is still to open a draft PR as a reference, and I'm going to now to take that. I'm going to fix all the tests because I still have some tests that I need to fix, and then I'm going to extract what makes sense before opening a final PR that that is going to implement everything. The idea is that what I can extract right now is several pieces of refactoring that were used in order to improve the performance of the admin interface. For example, we have when searching for a list of users here, we have some resources here that are displayed, and we want to be able to know if that user was blocked by email or by email domain for some reasons. And for each user that was displayed in this interface, we were querying our MongoDB database in order to search for some records that would identify whether that user was blocked or not. So we have a massive performance bottleneck. So what I did is that I did a piece of refactoring that eliminates that N+1 query problem on MongoDB, and this actually is a standalone is a standalone refactor that I can actually extract into a separate request before reviewing this one. So this is what I intend to do. So I have several examples like that that I intend to extract, and then once I eliminate that, the PR will be much less will be way less fat as a result. The second thing that I would do is then I would still try to, now that I have the holistic approach, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to break it down, opening a PR with the first tab, and that first PR is probably going to have all the clean out about the components that are going to be reused, but for that tab only. And then the other PR will just leverage for block emails, unblock emails, refund queue, and sales reports. They would just leverage all the work that was being done in the previous PR for suspend users. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I can be very talkative, so feel free to steer me back to a specific point or just to cut me if you need to.
Sure. Thank you, man. Great. Sahil, it's past 12.
That's okay. We have 2 hours set.
2 hours. Okay.
Yeah, just to add, if you go to the files changed, I think we can just go through it more, and I think there are a lot of ways to move stuff out of this pull request to make it, make it smaller. Not necessarily lines of code, but there are, for example, this like charge processor.rb change. This is probably a file that this change, we're basically using a method that effectively wraps around this this check, and so this probably could be its own PR.
Exactly. This is a great candidate for an extraction. The reason why I did this is that I needed to expose an attribute to the front end. The idea is that we do not want to have too much logic on the front end in order to understand whether a purchase uses Stripe or PayPal or whatever. we want to have as much as business logic on the back end and just expose dummy attributes on the front end, and the front end doesn't have to care about the business logic. That's the idea, so that we do not have the logic scattered across multiple sources, and we have the backend as the one single source of truth for the business logic. So yeah, that's what I did, and yeah, this is typically the kind of extraction that you can do. It will benefit the main code base immediately, and then the admin spa will just benefit from it as well. So yes, absolutely. If we have another example, well, as I said, it's
yeah,
a lot of
there's a
files,
lot of
so,
examples. I mean, what I do generally is I close all the folders on the left, and
okay.
then that makes it really easy to see like sort of like what doesn't fit in the pull request, right? Like for example, like these bottom files, like this Strongbox version change in gem file probably can be its own pull request. There's probably things related to that. The additions to the end development file can be its own pull request. There's like a new line added to the paggy.rb file. I'm not sure why. It's not a bad change, but it adds one extra file.
This might be Robocop, actually, because I also run all the linters against that branch. So it actually automatically
But it's weird.
fixed
It's weird that it didn't catch this in main, for example.
I think it's because it's a difference in Robocop because you have two auto-operate options. We have like the shock with the down case A and up case A, and I run the one with up case A, and I think it has an extra apps available. So yeah, that's just it. But yeah, I can also just remove that chain because it's not basically it's noise and not signal, and we want basically the signal here.
Exactly. Yeah, and then I mean those are the big things that are, there's like 5 or 6 small PRs that you can make that at least they don't change the lines of code that much, but at least reviewing it, it sort of keeps the review focused on the admin specific changes. And then the biggest one would be figuring out, okay, we should do this like, and generally what I do is I go to the routes changes and I kind of use the routes changes as like a way of kind of understanding how big the changes are. And generally, I think like each route could be its own pull request. Each object or each model. Not always, obviously, there's like a lot of interdependency, but that may be a way of breaking out the pull requests and getting it merged sooner. More people can contribute, etc. So that might be one.
It still might be possible for this one. The idea is that since now I use lazy loading, I had basically to create dedicated endpoints in order to lazy load the rest of the resources. Like for example, when you display a user, you want to display later the latest post, and then the stats and the components information, the payout information, etc., etc. All those endpoints were not existing because before it was an action view template. It was a partial that was called user, and I think I can find it actually. It's in app, and then it's in views, and then it's in admin, and then it's in users on the bottom. And then there must be a partial user somewhere here. This one. So basically, this partial was side loading a lot of stuff, like the memberships, the permission risks, the permission payouts, some React components rendered from the server that were loading information like stats immediately, that kind of stuff. So the idea is that I only display the information about the user immediately now, and I created dedicated endpoints in order to silo the rest only when it's necessary. So I can still, I think, open a separate pull request, and as soon as for the first for like Suspend user, I'm not going to need it, for example. Block image neither, and block image. But for refunc, for example, this is typically, this is when I needed to basically refactor the partial user into its dedicated component. And so this is going to be, the idea is that I'm going to display a list of users here. And at the same time, we have this search form that are going to display a list of users if I use this here. So how do I break that down? The idea is that I would have a pull request that would, where the old way of displaying a user and the new way of displaying a user would coexist. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I guess it's a matter of, it depends. This is the kind of trade-offs that we need to consider when doing that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll probably do a longer session internally talking about this admin migration.
Yeah, as I said, very big piece of work.
But yeah, generally I would say anything that you're not shipping code weekly, something's wrong, and there should be like a discussion around how do we kind of like start merging stuff sooner. Like no one should be working on code for weeks with no one else looking at what they're doing. So I would say the admin SPA is a good example of something that we should sort of discuss sooner. The risk being that someone could take the wrong direction, go down a path, and then like 2 weeks later realize that, and then so generally I think we should aim for like weekly feedback, weekly sort of reviews, etc. And that also goes for the open source folks. Like if you have a PR that's been open for a long time, that's not a good sign. That generally means your code is too complicated, it's too scary. Like when you keep PRs under 100 lines of code, as Emmanuel said, the chance of you getting merged is also means that the speed of your changes getting merged are generally related. Like if it's a really easy, simple change, well tested, well documented, we would have merged like 10 PRs already, but none of them have yet met the bar. But we have some candidates. I asked a Telegram group for people who want to review. So if you want, we can go to
sounds good.
some of these. We're gonna do a FlexIsle session later. So for folks who want FlexIsle stuff reviewed, we'll do a dedicated, similar live stream direct, around FlexIsle's code base. Yeah, if you want to open up, let's say this one,
1501.
1501, yeah, Abhishek's PR, and then so we can do this one, and then 1516.
I think you still need to present your screen.
Oh, sure, I'll do that.
A lot of these are CSS ones, which is fine, but if someone has like a more diverse one with like Ruby code or something, maybe people will learn a little bit more. But we can start with these.
Sure. So fix preview section and content tab for bundle product. Preview section has no padding cap. Okay. Before, after. Oh, they must be referring to the padding on and on top. Okay. And this is inside the preview. So
yeah, for example, I would include a screenshot of the entire page.
Yeah.
It's not really that useful to like crop down to something, because there's a lot of context you miss. I think like it takes a second to be like what URL are they on? Where are they?
sure.
What part of the product is this? I don't even know. And now it's like, okay, it's the bundle edit page. No AI was used. Cool.
Okay. So Emmanuel has already reviewed.
Or not cool. AI is fine, by the way. Just disclose it. So yeah, we can go to
Code.
Yeah, this is kind of a good example, I would say, of like, investigating the root cause. Like, how did this bug get introduced? Because it's kind of, the person building the feature probably didn't introduce the bug, so the bug was introduced later. So I would be curious about why, like, where did the gap disappeared, and why may that have happened? Yeah.
Yeah. So this PR is very small and looks okay-ish. So it's straightforward adding, padding.
Yeah. I would replicate this issue first.
Yeah.
So like,
Local first.
or I would actually do it in production.
Or
So I
production.
would just go to Gumroad.com, create a bundle product. Oh man, I love the instant loading. It's so much better. Thank God.
Yeah. Sample product. Let's say one. Okay. Product.
Yeah, so there's a bug. You can see the bug. So that's good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
And normally what I do is I try to fix the bug in the browser, and then I replicate the fix in the code base.
yeah.
So generally I don't know how other people do it, but that's generally
Yeah, we
what
can
what I do.
try that as well. So here.
Well, I try not to look at their PR.
Okay.
I try to fix it myself because that gives me a sign of like when you're looking at the DOM itself,
Yeah.
you know, you'll look at like what's the right fix? Like where's the actual place where the Tailwind class should be added? Where sometimes I feel like when you're looking at it in cursor, you'll just add it wherever it will fix the issue.
Sure.
Because your goal is to just fix the issue. Here you're actually looking at I feel like the DOM in its full because with cursor you're just looking at like the one component. You like it may not be the right place to add it potentially.
Yeah.
So you have this product card grid.
Yeah, we have to add padding over here, but it's padding 6.
But there's already a gap. So the gap is between the products.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
I would say that like it feels like a pretty small gap. Like it should be larger. Like design wise, we don't have gaps that small generally. So I would probably make it like two or three. Yeah, I do 3 so that at least it's lining up with. Yeah, at least it's lining up with that. And then there's the.
We have that padding left over here.
Well, yeah, padding left I wouldn't, but that wouldn't fix it because that wouldn't affect the library text.
Right, true.
So you want to add it to that to the section and the header separately, probably, or that div. Why is there that div? Why is there an empty div? Probably add it to that empty div.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you add like padding. Well, you don't need padding. I wouldn't do padding left. I would do padding
itself. Okay.
padding itself because you want it. It's only going to affect the left, but you want it around the whole thing.
Let's say 1 gram.
Probably 3.
3.
Probably 3. And then you'll also need a gap of 3 or a space. I don't know why that's not working, but
Yeah.
oh, it's probably you need to add like a flex or something.
Yeah.
Flex box.
It can get complicated.
Yeah, no, well, let's fix it. Let's fix it. Yeah, let's fix it. So let's add the gap.
Okay.
Well, you have to turn it on again.
Okay.
And then add a new class and do display flex, I think.
Yeah. Oh no.
I do think that is like likely the right answer. So there's a flex dash row. I forgot how you do it.
I also need to look up the
Or
document.
I actually no, hit tab
Okay.
and then save it and then so display flex and then flex direction is the thing. Column or there, boom.
Oh, done. Awesome.
Told you. And this is really critical, I think, because the feedback loop is infinitely faster here.
Yeah.
And you're testing in production with like real data.
Sure.
So my guess is that at least that my opinion that so the root cause, the reason this is a bug in the first place, is because this is like a weird part of the product. We have like a preview of a bundle product, but because there's no preview of a bundle, we're showing this like one-off, basically a made-up library preview. It's like this whole concept of like we're previewing a library is kind of strange. So that's why it exists. It's just like a strange product that like people don't test that part of the product that much. So there was at some point a gap probably added by like a CSS class that we deleted, and we're moving away from CSS. So hopefully this issue would just have auto resolved at some point. But yeah, now the goal is to like reflect these changes into cursor array, making the same changes.
Yeah.
And now we can review the pull request and see if it matches what we would have done.
It is different.
It's different. So now we know it's not worth merging. Unlikely, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, or it could be worth merging, but the approach is different, and you could sort of compare your approach and decide, is their approach better? Maybe their approach is better. They did get the padding correct. However, the way they solved the solution, the other padding was to add margin top, which I don't think is the right answer.
Yeah, that's true.
I think margin top you really shouldn't use anymore, because margin top was, precedes Flexbox. So you don't, once you have margin top on every element was how you did gaps before, but now we have actual gaps. So we should be using gaps for gaps.
That
so
is true.
that would be like the right, in my opinion, the correct fix would be to use gaps. Margin top would work, but for example, let's say you added another thing at the bottom, then you would have to add a margin top to that button.
Yeah.
But whereas if you were using gaps in the first place, it would automatically add the gaps.
Makes sense.
So yeah.
I guess we didn't keep this PR, but I'll go back to this PR later and add this comment.
Yeah, normally I would close it, but it's small enough to just close, but yeah. Cool. Missing style. So
on writing styles too. Before.
Generally, I would not use lowercase to communicate like this. Lowercase makes it harder to read. The reason uppercase and lower, like the reason we write the way we write is because it's the best way to read. Like otherwise books would be all lowercase, right? So use proper, capitalization and punctuation. Otherwise you're doing the reader a disservice. So I would just close it based on that. I wouldn't even read anything. I haven't read anything. I just know that it doesn't follow our yeah.
Sounds good.
Our contributing guidelines. Awesome. So those are two.
So any other requests?
Yeah, there's a couple more. We can do 1556.
Self-like showing payment method selector on small screens. Okay. Yeah, these buttons look janky.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So again, I would try to replicate this in production. Because it could be their browser, it could be localhost, because you don't even know if they're on Gumroad.com. So they could have caused the bug. Sometimes that happens where they cause a bug, they report a bug, and actually the bug is like they introduced the bug in their branch.
That is true.
So the first step is always kind of like replicating it. And then name a fair price. Put in something's weird. There's like some spacing above this thing that should get some other stuff should get is broken, but
okay, so I probably will have to open this in incognito. Yeah. Small screen. Okay. Let's. I'll get off my screen.
Well, it's because you're not seeing Google Pay.
Google Pay.
So yeah, so open this in Chrome. You have to open it in Chrome, I think, for Google Pay.
Google Pay. No, I still cannot see Google Pay. Maybe I don't have Google Pay support. Oh, yeah, I can just replicate this button.
Yeah, if you can replicate it, that's good enough. And we'll go into one, might as well.
Okay.
And then I'll edit it down and probably publish an extra video.
I'll just replicate. Okay, let's change to page cell, add one more button. One or two buttons. Okay, now I can see the issue.
Okay, so you can see the issue, great.
Yeah.
So the fix proposed is to inline them.
Yeah.
But all okay.
Flex code, the medium screens, flex roll. We can try this.
Even if there's only two, it's better. He thinks it's better to align them.
Looks like.
But wouldn't it look weird? Why?
Yeah, would look great. Ideally, if it's
I mean,
it's on a screen, we should.
I mean, I think it's fine. I just think again, it's important for him to express his thinking. Why did he take this approach?
Okay.
It is not explaining why the approach is the way it is. Overall, I think it's a fine change. Another thing to consider is we're updating a component. We're adding classes to a tabs component. So I would also consider, is this something we want to apply to tabs broadly, or not? I also noticed some bug in in this. So this
Yeah, there's a gap.
there's a gap
Extra
here.
on the right side, yes.
So
This is a locality, right? Probably a locality.
well, I would make sure that's true because it could be that his changes introduced. Okay. How do you?
So we want to go to the screen.
I want to make it. Yeah. Well, I want to test, like, if you refreshed it. Yeah. So I would fix this. I would make it.
Oh,
This looks janky to me.
yeah, should ideally occupy the whole space.
It should be like card 50%,
Yeah,
PayPal 50%.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I would actually fix the issue. It feels like there's a bandage to just get a PR merged, but actually the core UX should be redone.
Okay.
So
what do you think about aligning these buttons horizontally or stacking them?
I think for desktop, it makes sense to. I mean, I would do research as well. Like I would look at how Stripe does it.
Okay.
Like what does Stripe checkout look like?
Sure.
My guess is, yeah, they just put them under each other. So I think we can just make them under each other every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably better.
Can be more. I think that's what he did in this PR.
But well, I would just make it always, not just on mobile.
Okay.
Right. Just should always be under each other.
Got it.
I also think though that there is something weird here that like.
But if we do that, the card button would be too big with just card, the small text in the middle.
Well, that's why we would want to left align it.
Left align.
And we would probably want to. I mean, but Stripe does it. It works nicely.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is that we want to put the card information should be under the card. So when we make it, like when you do PayPal should not be above card information, right? It should be pay with card.
Oh, then PayPal.
And then all the card information, and then PayPal. Just look at Stripe checkout. We should just roughly emulate the structure of Stripe checkout. So like for example, their name should be above. It should be their email and then their name.
Okay.
And then pay.
Makes sense.
Generally, like the flow is not exact. Like the pay with should be below contact information. Basically, it's like email. It's like about their information and then payment. Also, tipping should be on the left. Like we should move tipping here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, this is like Kyle, referenced the term bike shedding as like bike shedding is a concept of like adding more and more scope just instead of fixing the thing. But I think in this case, it's like the fix is not that important to fix. Like if we want to make these changes, like let's do it the right way. Otherwise, there's gonna be like 5 incremental changes. Let's just invest in. It's not that much effort to just fix the core issue, in my opinion. So
That is true.
yeah, so I would just close this and comment.
Okay. I'll do that
afterwards. Yeah, awesome.
Sounds good.
So that was 1556,
Yes.
I believe. Yes, awesome. I do want to merge something, so maybe we did. Let's do this one. Someone else. 1578.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, allow free product purchase on 0 tip. Allow free card purchase
Cool.
without a tip. Okay.
Allow free cart purchase to pass through without a tip. How is this an issue?
Isn't that work already?
I would assume this works. I would be very shocked if this doesn't work. So I would first replicate this in production. We have made some changes to tips recently-ish. So maybe it's possible, but
Yeah, we can try to replicate it.
yeah, I would definitely replicate this. But like the pull request itself should show the issue. So I would basically just close the pull request and say, could you, we can replicate it. We might as well. So
Okay.
type 0. And then a 0 tip. And then
Yeah. Hello.
yeah, it works.
It works. So
Yeah, so this is what is the issue?
Yeah, we don't.
So Smith, what's the issue? I don't know. What is?
Okay, so there's a before and after video which we can check out.
Well, that's on his local host.
Oh, so it seems like we have to enter in 0. So by default, this 0 is probably a placeholder, not a 0 value. So we have to be inserted 0 before checking out.
Oh, that's on purpose. Yeah, that's on purpose.
That's on purpose.
Yeah, that's on purpose. Yeah, but the reason is we want people to explicitly opt out of providing a tip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. In case we can just close. Yeah, I can add a comment and then go close.
Yeah, scroll. Awesome. There's also what, again, understanding why it is the way it is.
Yeah.
Really spending time will help.
Okay.
Then we can do this one. This is a 1536. Fix flaky shipping order test due to same VCR cassette reference.
Okay. Let's check.
I don't know why they're adding these changes. So this is sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
No. Yeah, so he's saying that multiple tests are referencing the same
interesting.
assets, and
That's interesting. I mean,
it's interesting. I wonder how that could happen in class.
But wouldn't it be bound to the?
Yeah, to the file, right? At least the top level description.
But maybe not. Maybe just the folder. They're in the same folder. So I would open up that support fixtures, whatever that folder is of those cassettes, and see what's in there.
I'm not sure if it's applicable to this particular spec, but we do have some magic, if you call it, to load, I think, the same cassette for some specs. So I think that might be true. I haven't looked into this yet.
I see.
I mean, it seems like a legitimate issue.
Yeah. Okay. The file change.
And then he's adding one with the but it does look like they're all in that folder. So could you open that folder up? Do you finish opening up the LM?
Sure. Shipping scenarios.
So they're all. So why are they here? I would assume they would be in the folder, like shipping. Like there's another folder for.
Yeah.
Or they're like per file.
It should be at least. It should be referencing the main description or something. Why is it in shipping scenarios?
Because there's not that many here, right?
Yeah.
But I think it might be what Kyle said. There may be some sort of config on the VCR, the way we use VCR, that it's like set up weirdly. and normally wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Also, it's technically pre-orders has a dash in it in English.
Okay.
So that would be, you should probably fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah,
so
seems like a reasonable fix. However, like, so the flakiness, it would roughly fail half the time then, depending on the order.
True.
But I feel like we would have noticed it if it were flaking.
Yeah, this should have been the case for a long time then.
Yeah, what is the like flaky test that he referred to, the test suite?
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I've seen this error sometimes.
You have, yeah, so that could be the problem.
Yeah.
So we would want to run the CI suite on his build.
True. Yeah, I can do that. So,
but it seems like
it's strange. How I should,
what did you do?
So just triggered CI for this PR.
Oh, for this PR?
Yes. Yeah, so we can maybe review this.
Yeah. Seems like a seems like a mergeable though. Yeah. I would say this will likely be merged. So I would say 80% chance this gets 70% chance this gets merged.
Yeah.
However, I do think maybe I would look into like the VCR config, and it ideally every file would have its own folder. Otherwise, this bug would be a problem for like a lot of things, because you often may be naming things like user can purchase product, like it. So it's kind of surprising that we only encounter this now, but
yeah.
But could be
an issue.
Yeah.
Great. Any other pull requests that we need to look at?
Let me see if there's any others that I think are worth doing. No, I think that was a good batch of them.
Great.
I think we reviewed at least one for all the people who wanted their stuff reviewed. Let me check the YouTube comments and see what people suggested. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that was pretty good. I think that was really useful.
Yeah. It's like it went really well.
I mean, there's a bunch of really good examples. That was like probably, I mean, lots. Let's say we reviewed 10, like, thousands of dollars in bounties that we would have given out if the code was at the bar. But that, yeah, hopefully people have a good sense of what we're looking for, and it'll improve people's code quality, and we'll be able to merge more stuff. And yeah. Anything else you want to add, Prashad or Emmanuel or Kyle?
Yeah, so the one takeaway is to add as much discussion as possible and add inline feature comments. That would be really helpful as a reviewer. Kyle, do you want to add anything else?
No, I think I just end up repeating myself quite a bit, but yeah, mostly the rationale of the change, like focusing on the why rather than the what, and explaining why this change was made and also why certain changes were not made.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear the answer is 42. I want to know why is the answer 42, so yeah. I want to learn. I want to learn from you. Awesome.
Great.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will do this again, focused on Flexile at some point later this month, hopefully. Awesome. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.